Good morning. Today is the feast day of St. André Bessette, Brother André, as he was known up in Montreal. He was orphaned at the age of 12 and then just kind of picked up like odd jobs in factories and whatnot around Canada and the United States. And then at the age of 25, he decided that he wanted to enter into religious life. He was illiterate. He was sickly. He went to a religious order that focused on teaching, and he went and asked to be part of the order, and they were like, "You got to be kidding me." But the superior of the order received a note from André's pastor that said, "You're receiving a saint." And so he kind of had second thoughts and thought maybe he shouldn't. Finally, the bishop intervened and says, "You need to accept this guy." And so Brother André went through his novitiate and then jokingly said, "After I completed my novitiate, they showed me to the door, and that's where I stayed for the next 40 years. He had the job of porter. He opened the door to the school, which meant that he got to meet people, he got to know people, he got to pray with people, and he prayed through the intercession of St. Joseph for healing, and many people indeed were healed. Then he decided that a chapel needed to be built in honor of St. Joseph, and so he asked the bishop permission to do so. The bishop said, "You can build a chapel as long as you have the money to pay for it." And he didn't have any money, but he knew how to cut hair. So he decided, "I'm going to cut hair. I'm going to charge a nickel to cut hair and start raising money to build this church." And eventually built this kind of small 4 walls without a roof, without a floor. And now if you go to Montreal, is it Montreal or Quebec? It is Montreal, okay. I assume everything in Canada is the same, sorry. But if you go up to Montreal, it's one of the biggest churches there. It's this beautiful church. It wasn't completed until after his death, and it's adorned on the inside with crutches and whatnot that people have left after being miraculously healed through the intercession of St. Joseph and St. André Bessette. So St. André is a great example to us of humility. He's a great example to us of doing the will of God. He's a great example of not letting our limitations get in the way of being holy. Oftentimes, we hear people say, "Oh, I can't do that because I'm not holy enough." Right? "I can't do that because I'm not capable enough. I can't, do something to assist the church, or I can't do something to help the church because I'm just, that's only for the really holy people that are at church all the time and that, pray the rosary every day. I need to step back because I'm not good enough." And that's just a lie. It's the oldest lie from the devil, telling us we're not good enough. But rather, through baptism, we are good enough. Through baptism, we're made to be like Christ. And so we recognize that as baptized Christians, all of us share in the vocation to holiness. We all share in the call to be holy. We all share in the necessity to do the will of God in our lives, even if that's just as simple as opening a door for somebody. Very simple act to be the porter. Very humble act. So today, let us ask through the intercession of St. André Bessette that indeed we may grow in humility and we may grow in holiness.